unconstitutional, and I was exercising a right to freedom of the press. So we went up to the courtroom. There were about 10 activists or so. This is in the Free State, part of the Free State Project. A lot of activists have moved up there. And so he had several supporters that had shown up for his arraignment, and they were kind of standing behind me watching this, and one of them had a audio recorder, and I believe that's what you guys are about to play.
All right, so we're going to play this audio. We're going to play this sound in just a minute. As we do, I want to remind everyone that they can still tweet their questions and comments to Shelley Roche, who will be with us on screen via Skype in just a minute. Shelley will be putting some questions to Sam and to me. I also want to thank, even though he is your jailer, the sheriff was kind enough to let us conduct this interview. And I must tell you, you know I'm a former judge. I can tell you that interviews with people incarcerated, even those totally and absolutely innocent like you, are very rare in America today. I also want to say, so there's no bones about where I stand on this, to me, the camera is the new gun. It should be the weapon of choice in defense of any excessive behavior by the government, because the last thing the government wants is a video or audio of what you're now about to hear.
No cameras, no recording.
No audio recording.
I'm sorry? No audio recording, no camera, because it'll tell you right there.
What is that?
This is the orders. And we do have both.
Can I get this?
Sorry. We'll make photocopies for you. We have people if you want.
And what is your name again?
I'm Lance Walton.
Lance Walton. And are you a officer here?
No, sir. I'm the court security officer.
Security officer. Okay. And this is what you're relying on to say that there is no filming in here?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is not an order, sir. This is not signed by anybody, and I've read this. No judge would sign his name to that.
You already know.
Okay, well,
keep it out of my face.
This is not an order.
That's
because
fine.
it's not signed by anybody. This is a sign of a right.
That's fine. I can argue with it.
It carries no force of law.
That's fine. You're not.
So we're free to film in here. Yes?
I asked you twice. No more. If I have to. I asked you to keep it
on the wall.
out of my.
Signed by any judge.
If you're going to, are you recording, sir?
I am recording.
Okay. Stop recording, please.
I'm sorry?
Oh, wow.
What's that for?
Come on, get up.
Want to press him?
I'm not sure what
I think he went limp. Well, thug, sir. Who are you calling a thug? Well, anybody who's putting another man in chains or shackles. That's what I call a thug. What do you call a thug?
I'm looking at Ron.
Oh, really?
Ron.
Who am I hurting? Who are you hurting? Am I hurting anyone by standing here? Did I hurt your feelings maybe by saying the word thug?
What we're going to do is get the proceedings going. You ready for the arraignment? Of course. Let's get you in here. We'll get you screened in. We'll get you going.
I think that hurts. You're filming somebody.
Hey, leave that guy alone.
What's going on?
Let me just open up the door. Just step back for a second.
Will you please make sure that he's safe in there?
Don't hurt him.
Will you please make sure you're not hurting him?
All right, Sam, before we go to the video, the snippets of this that we were able to capture courtesy of you and the other defenders of freedom that were there, who was restraining whom and for what? What were they saying to you and what were they doing to your equipment about halfway through this?
Well, so the court security officer had grabbed my left hand. He had motioned somebody to come over. They never identified themselves, as you heard. And one of them took my camera out of my right hand, and at that point, I just dropped to the floor. Now, I was wearing a really thick silver cuff bracelet that had 90-degree sharp edges on it. And when they put the handcuffs on, they didn't lock them down, number one, and they also got tangled in that bracelet. So as they start dragging me, the sharp edges of that bracelet start cutting into my wrist. It bruised the bone for a couple weeks. It created a couple puncture wounds, and that's why I was screaming. And now they knew that it was doing that the whole time as I'm being dragged and screaming. They're like, "Oh yeah, play it up for the crowd. You know, you're doing a good job," and mocking me and things like that. Later, they saw that the cuffs had tightened up even further. They loosened them and then took the time to lock them down after they had dragged me into that back room. And then, I had informed the Keene police officer who came to transport me to the police department that the court security officer was in violation of 18 U.S.C. 242, which is acting under the color of law in order to deny me my right to freedom of the press.
Correct. Well, hopefully that can be reviewed by a judge who will be faithful to his or her oath to uphold the Constitution.
It would be nice. He told me he
go
didn't
now
care,
to the
and
videotape,
he yanked me up
Sam.
so hard off the floor I bounced in his arms.
Oh, boy. We're going to go now to the videotape, Sam, of what happened with you in that courthouse, and as soon as the video's over, we'll come right back to you.
Okay.
What is this man being arrested for? Lock the door.
Hey, Sam, what did they do?
What these people pay for them. Dragging me around by my wrist in the car.
Why are you hurting that man?
Caused nerve damage.
Let's swing around, son. What is this man being arrested for, officer?
Go ahead. How you doing? Check your code.
Are you okay?
Get out the way. Out the way.
Are you okay, Sam?
Tommy, when you get there, I believe two C's also got a couple on them.
Sam, are you okay? He doesn't look like he's awake.
You can't lay like that.
Oh. Call an ambulance for you, Sam.
Sam, do you have any numbness in your arms? That caused nerve damage with dragging you around with your arms back.
You gotta be a pig.
Sam, what are they holding you for in jail now?
So we filed, they had those same 4 charges. We filed demurs against the 3 primary ones.
Right.
They immediately dropped to the disorderly conduct and the theft charge because the serial number was on the camera. What they are still asserting is that the resisting arrest charge, the judge ruled on it on its face, said the complaint was sufficient despite the 4 pages of case law, and they're actually trying to add another charge of common law criminal contempt, but I don't know how they're going to do that because I was never inside the courtroom under the judge's jurisdiction. And in New Hampshire, like most states, you have the right to be charged by statute, and criminal contempt is found nowhere in the statutes. It's made up by
Do
the
they know
area.
who you are, Sam? Have you even told them your name?
I have not. They brought me over. There's a city ordinance that says that people arrested have to be fingerprinted and photographed. I did not refuse to do that, and the first time they offered it to me, I took them up on that, and they fingerprinted me and were able to tie my fingerprint back to a thumbprint from the Texas driver's license that I hold.
All right, Sam, I want you to stay with us because Shelley Roche, who is a regular part of the show, there she is, and who joins us now on Skype, has been receiving the tweets throughout the show. Shelley, it's always a pleasure. Welcome back to Freedom Watch.
Thanks. Good to be here again.
Any tweets for Sam? This will be a first that freedom lovers around the world can tweet directly through you to Sam while he's incarcerated on a non-existent charge. Any questions for Sam?
Many questions for Sam. Here's the first one from Hunter Alex. What's the attitude of the jailers? Do they know what really happened, and are any of them sympathetic to your side of the story?
Okay, a lot of people are very sympathetic, from the jailers even to the prisoners. They've come around and started asking questions about, what is this whole liberty movement and what do you guys stand for? They seem to think we were either a cult or anti-government at first, and now some of them are starting to kind of understand the concepts and the reason that I'm in here voluntarily, because, at any time I could just give my name, bow down to the government's demands, and they're telling me that they want to let me out of jail. They don't want to keep me here. But I know that if I do that, the writ of habeas corpus that's before the Supreme Court becomes moot at that point.
Shelley, any? That's a great question, by the way. I know you have so many. Give us another one for Sam. The technology is unbelievable that the tweets can get to you, to my producer George, to me, through Fox, to Sam in jail in New Hampshire.